Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesday night at the Hunt household. Today our setting has absolutely nothing to do with the card that I'm making or the stamps that I'm using. We're actually in Ireland today, and this is one of those places that I want to go really, really badly, but I'm not sure I'll ever convince my husband to go, but let me see if I can move in the right direction. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I mean, you don't see stuff like that in Michigan, let alone in the United States. So I just think it looks absolutely beautiful. So I thought, I'm going to go to one of my fantasy places today. And so we're joining you from Ireland. So any of you who are of Irish descent or have ever been to Ireland, maybe you know where this is. I have no idea.
Send you an invite?
Yeah, send me an invite if you're going. My husband always says, hey, if you can find someone to go with you, go. So if any of you want to go with me to Ireland, I'm there. I actually put that offer out one time. Gosh, way back when I used to design for another, actually I used to design for Magnolia. And I remember I said to my husband, they were doing some big grand opening thing or something in Sweden, and I remember saying to him, boy, I would love to go. I'll never get to go to Sweden. And he said, hey, if you can find someone to go. And so I put that message out there to like some of the people on my design team. And actually the lady who I was actually working for was like, I'll go. So I got to go to Sweden. He couldn't, remember Diana? He's looking at me like, what are you talking about?
You should tell him who she is.
Well, it was Diana Crick, and she was the owner of Magnolialicious. So, and I used to design for her too. So anyway, yeah. And so because he had said if you could find somebody, he couldn't pull back on that. So it was kind of cool.
Like score buddy, score pal, score tape.
Score buddy, score pal, score tape. All right, he wants me to throw the advertisement out there. So anyway, because that's why we're here. So anyway, gosh, again, warms my heart that you guys are all here. I cannot believe that you guys spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with me. So hello to everybody. I saw so many people. I know somebody, I can't remember who, somebody said that their AC was out, which would totally freak me out. I don't think I could survive without it anymore. It is not a good situation when our AC goes out. I see Liz is there, and Judy Markowitz, Beverly Gleason, Kathy Marvel, Lee, Sarah, so many people. Oh my goodness. Who's that? Beverly Gleason. I don't know if I just said your name or not. So welcome everybody. And we've got Donna, Jet, Carol Held is on the design team. And I know I saw Linnea there too. So hey girl. So many people. Linnea, just to let you know, and this is going to be, a little something for everybody to just kind of go, oh my gosh, what is it? We do have a new collection that's going to be coming out next month. I think it's going to be released. We're shipping to stores next month. And so Linnea, who's on the design team, and she does some special cards and stuff for us ahead of time. Your package shipped today. So Alan wanted to tell you, and I just thought that I would drive everybody nuts with that, letting you know we got some really cool stuff coming out. We have things coming out for Halloween, fall, winter, Christmas. We have a really big collection, so it's going to be really, really cool. So, and I will be working with it a lot here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So anyway, speaking of which, today is all about mixing and matching. When I came up here to the studio today, I had no idea what I was going to be doing. And I kind of slowly formulated this idea in my head, and I started working on it, and it failed miserably. It absolutely failed miserably. So then I had to start over again, and I didn't have a whole lot of time, and I just started grabbing things. I thought, what can I do? What can I do? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to mix up a whole bunch of things, because I've worked with this stamp set, and I've worked with that stamp set, and I've worked with this die and that die, and I thought, I don't want to just, I wanted to do something different. So I'm going to switch the camera so you can see everything that I have here that I worked with. All right, let me get the green screen turned off. So this is everything I worked with. It's a ton of stuff. So my starting point when I started grabbing product was, I grabbed these. I first grabbed Strawberry Patch, and then I grabbed my Pixie Pals. And I thought, all right, well, how can I use those together? What can I do? So let's see. I grabbed the dies, because I always grab the dies. So I have my Pixie Pal dies, and then I have my Strawberry Patch dies. And I just started stamping a whole bunch of these characters, not really sure the direction I was going to go in. I still don't know because I didn't have time to even really sort it out. I literally just started stamping, coloring, and die cutting because I didn't want to be late for you guys here. So, and then I thought, well, I wonder if I could work the tree in there. So I grabbed this from my little collection of things too. So this is really a mix and match, grab your stash, anything you can. And I just started stamping and coloring again. I grabbed both of my fence dies. I have no idea which is going to work or if either of those is going to fit, but I went ahead and cut a fence die out of both of these. I don't know if either size is going to work. We'll see. And I grabbed a couple of stencils. I thought that it would be fun. And this part I did actually test out because I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. Let me get rid of some of the brightness here so that you guys can see things. So I'm going to do a little bit with both of these stencils. And I haven't yet worked with one of our stack stamps. So I went ahead and I stamped out the Love Stack. I haven't cut it yet because I want to show you guys how cool it is if you haven't seen it yet. And then we're going to cut it with this die. So let me show you what I have so far. Oh, I also thought I'm going to do something with grass. And because I was so pressed for time, I thought I don't have time to color anything. I don't want to do any of that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to stencil. I wanted there to be more texture. So I went ahead and I cut some pieces with our grass dies. And so let me show you where we are right now. Now, I want to mention also, to anybody who might be new, we do a giveaway every time. Because I'm using so many things, I didn't even know what to do for the giveaway. So I thought I would do something that's completely unrelated to the card for the giveaway. So I'll tell you what that is in a little bit. But the only way that you can get entered for the giveaway is if we know you're here. And the only way we know you're here is if you ask a question, leave a comment, even if it's just a hello, we know you're here. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question. And do you guys have trouble coloring things like trees and stuff? And the reason I'm asking this is because if I do this right today, I think we might have time to stamp and color up, show you how I color up a tree. I did this one really, really light. And I just wanted it to be very, very whimsical. I wasn't going for a real look. You know, I guess my question is, do you want to see me color up a tree? Because I know I've had a lot of comments where people say, I really, really like your trees. So put that out there. Let us know if you want to see me color a tree today. I think I have time to stamp one and do that. So here's everything that I have. And I just stamped a whole bunch of these things. And I thought, I'm going to see if I can mix some fall and summer together because, oh, and then I threw a fairy in here because this comes from the Pixie Pals set that I showed you. And I thought we're going to make this an imaginary kind of a thing. So that way we're going to mix strawberries, which are, it's not something you pick in the fall. We're going to mix it with these beautiful fall leaves. And I thought if I throw a fairy in there, then it makes it an imaginary land. And that way I can have strawberries and fall leaves together on the same card. So there you go. That's how my mind works. And then here's the grass. So I did one of them in a hill and one of them in just a flat plane. And I'm going to push these all over here. Is anybody leaving any comment about the tree if they want me to color up a tree? Is that a yes, a no? Because I can't see it, Alan.
I saw someone say yes.
We have only one yes?
We have one yes out of 4 million viewers.
All right, let me know if you want me to color a tree. So far we have one yes, so I don't want to do it if we...
I'm joking, there's more than one.
Oh, there's more than one? Well, Alan, you got to give me real information. My husband, you know, I'll tell you, this working with your husband thing is a little trying of the patience sometimes.
I can go back to work.
No, that's good. I love you being here, my darling. You're the best. You're the best ever. I don't want him going back to work. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I did here. I thought I wanted to mix up. It's mix and match. So I thought, what can I do that's different with my stencils rather than just put clouds across the top and put grass across the bottom? What can I do that's a little bit different? What?
Looks like a nuke went off.
Alan! That's not very
It's
nice.
the glow. It's the
All right,
clouds,
just, all right.
it's the clouds.
Hopefully you guys didn't hear
I'm
him.
just saying.
So I'm going to play with this. I'm not crazy about how I did my very first one because I don't have as many clouds as I wanted, and my goal was just to have a little bit of the plaid around the side. So this was my starter, but I am going to do one, and I'm going to show you what I did. And so I'm going to start with my plaid stencil. This is absolutely, hands down, one of my favorite stencils. Where's my purple tape? Uh-oh, Alan, where's my purple tape?
I don't know. You want to go get some?
Can you look over there and see if my purple tape is over there?
I don't see any purple tape.
You don't see my purple? Oh, maybe it's,
over there.
all right, can you go over there and get it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Speaking of purple tape, I have not been able to get that into the store yet. I'm so sorry. That new collection that I mentioned at the beginning of the video is, it requires a tremendous amount of effort on my part right now because, well, because of COVID, I've got like nobody doing some of these things. I have to do them myself. So, so I have not had a chance to get the new stuff in the store. I'm trying to get it in there before the end of this week. And that does include the purple tape. So I've gone ahead and taped this down. I want to work up in this area here. And I grabbed some fall colors. And oh, and I'm using my blending card. I get a lot of questions about this. This is, whenever I'm blending inks, I use Strathmore Bristol Smooth Surface. Those three things are key. Strathmore Bristol Smooth Surface. This will also be in the store, hopefully by the end of the week. Your colors will blend beautifully on it. So I've got these three colors. I grabbed Dandelion, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous, like golden yellow. In Your Face Orange, and I love that name. I thought it was such a funny name when I thought of it because it's just, I thought, what can I name this orange? And I thought it's so shocking and so bright, and it's just kind of in your face. So that's where that name came from. And then Iced Tea. And I'm using the hybrid inks. The hybrid inks, of course, can be used with almost any medium. And so I'm grabbing my colors here. I'm starting with, I like to go light to dark because I can always put a dark color over a light, but you can't really go in the other direction. So I'm going to blend this around my edge here. I'm going to leave a little more room than I did on my first one so I can have more of the clouds in the center. So that's really all there is to that color for now. Oh, my husband forgot to turn his phone off. Sorry about that. Now I'm going to In Your Face Orange, and I'm just going to kind of dab a little bit of this orange here and there. Just like so. Don't want a tremendous amount. And then we're going to go to Iced Tea. And I grabbed the Iced Tea. I mean, it's not totally necessary, but I grabbed it just because I want to have some kind of low lights in here. And I thought it would work really, really nicely because we have a tree in here. So we're going to have, you know, some wood in the picture. So I thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of a brown kind of here and there. And then I always like to go back with my lightest color to brighten that up a bit because I just went over it quite a bit. And that's just going to brighten up that yellow just a little more because I kind of dulled it when I went over with the other colors. And that's really all there is to that. And look how pretty that is. It's just so nice. I think it looks real fall-like. I think it's beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe up my stencil. Be sure to ask any questions. Alan is standing by. I can craft and answer questions at the same time, somewhat. Somewhat. All right, so let me get these off of here because I'm going to use this purple tape again. My stencil away so I don't end up getting it all over anything. And now I'm going to grab Rainy Day. I'm going to turn this over so we have a nice clean surface. One thing about the hybrid inks, they will reactivate each other, you know, when they're not completely dry. And this is probably not completely dry. I put a lot of ink down, so it needs a little bit of time to dry. So, so I just want a nice clean surface because I had some ink on the sides there. So I'm going to go ahead and mask off these full clouds that are down here. And then my favorite color whenever I'm doing clouds is always Marina Madness. I love this color for clouds and I love it for water. And this stencil, well, first of all, our plaid stencil is kind of an all over plaid. It's not one of our scene building stencils, so we have one design on the full 6x6. This one is one of our scene building stencils. If you're not familiar with them, let me flip it over so you can see the whole thing. I know we have the tape there, but our scene building stencils we utilize all these different areas of the stencil for different things. So we have these billowy clouds up at the top of this one, and then we have the full clouds just below. We have rain droplets in several sizes, and then we use the bottom edge for grass. So we try and use the edges so that you get really, really cool effects. And this way, this is as good as having like 1, 2, 3, 4 different stencils all in one. So you can create a full scene and you don't have to buy 4 different stencils. So I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to center this in that area where I want that blue. Brush off a little bit and just come down right into the stencil. Up over a little bit, just so I get a little bit of that effect of the clouds. Look how pretty that is. And then I'm going to slide this over a bit so that we change that kind of the silhouette of that a bit. You know, you can use your stencils front and back too, so I could flip this over if I wanted. And then I'm going to move this over one more time and get a little more in there. So now I have these really pretty clouds. I'm going to get some of the blue just right in here, just so it's not so white, depending on how high my characters end up going. I don't want that to be really, really stark white. Okay. So that is it with the stencil. Did we have yeses on the coloring of that, Alan?
I wasn't paying attention, sorry.
The coloring of the
I don't have
tree. Did you look and see what people said about coloring a tree?
I don't know anything about coloring a tree.
Okay.
Marina blue.
What? No, like when I asked the question, did anybody want to see it? I don't want to waste time doing it. I don't want to spend time doing it if nobody wants to see it.
I have not seen any responses about a tree.
Okay. So we don't want to see me color the tree. Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, so let's do this again. If anybody wants to see me color the tree, put the word tree out there. That way my husband can see the word tree. And if you don't want to see it, that's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Sharon Gullickson is saying, which country have you traveled that I've traveled to has been my favorite and why? That's an interesting question. Well, to start off with, initially my favorite, I haven't done a tremendous amount of traveling, but I always wanted to go to Italy, and I am Italian, of Italian descent, so my husband and I actually got married in Italy. What am I looking for? Where's the bag that has all of my, oh, it's right here.
Tree.
Oh, we have a lot of people saying tree?
Yeah,
all right, good. So
they're saying tree.
you don't pay attention when I talk, do you?
No, I'm trying
it's
to
just
read
like
all
every other day.
I'm trying to read tree feeds and process
This is a perfect example. This man does not ever pay attention when I talk. He has no idea why people are typing the word tree. What does that tell you, folks? Life in the Hunt household. So anyway, Italy was my favorite for the longest, very, very specifically Venice. My husband and I were married in Italy. We were married in Milan, actually. But then when I got to travel to England to London to do Create and Craft years ago. It was the first television stuff I had done, television at-home shopping stuff. And I got to be in London, and I fell so madly in love with London. So I think London is my favorite. I love England.
You like history, though?
Huh?
You like history stuff?
I do like history stuff. I didn't like history stuff way back when I was in school, but I do enjoy it now. Okay, so back to the card. I've got an A2 sized card base here. This is cut to, it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and put this right down on, whoops. I'm going to put this card topper right down on the card base. Okay, so there we go. That's our first start. Alan's going to be die cutting. I'm going to show you what I did here. This is our, we have a set of what we call stack stamps and dies, and this is the coordinating stack die. This is one of the stamps, and if I open this up, if you haven't seen these yet, oops, it's stuck. I got the tape stuck, or the adhesive on the top stuck. There we go. Okay. This is one of the stamps. This is just one big stamp, okay? So when you stamp it, this is what you get. And if you notice on this stamp, there's these little squares up in the corner here. Let me hold it like this. There's 4 squares, and it will stamp those 4 squares. And it will stamp all of these stamps out. And we have several. So this one that I used is the love stack. We have the encouragement stack, anytime stack. I think we have one called Essentials. Oy vey, I just ripped all this. What I'm making a mess. And we are going to be adding to these as well. So what have I done? Oh my goodness, Angela. Okay, I'm going to ignore that. My perfectionist thing is just going to have to be set aside. Okay, I totally wrecked the package that it was in. I'm going to show you how this lays over. We are going to be adding to it. We actually have in our upcoming collection for next month, we actually have a whole different shape too, for a brand new stack die and sentiments for that. So that's going to be really fun too. So this one, this stack die has its ribbon cut at the ends, and this is the blade side down. And this you're going to arrange. You want to pay attention to where the little squares are. Now there is a right and a wrong side. If I go this way, it's not going to fit, right? See how it cuts off some of those? It's not designed to go in this direction. We designed the stamps to fit perfectly with the shape of the die. So make sure that you have the die in the right direction. So I'm going to go ahead, tape this down, give it to Alan, and he's going to cut this for me. You're going to lay this over the squares. Now the squares are there for placement. You know, there is a tolerance on this too. So you know, the stamps and dies are made separately. So if you end up with a tiny little bit of white, you know, on the side of your square or something like that, don't worry about it. Okay, they're there for placement. You're gonna use them. And you want to make sure that all of your letters or all of your sentiments are lined up in there. So Alan, would you do me a favor, please, and cut that? He's going to run that through. And then I'm going to need you to give me, actually, can I get it? Let me see if I think I just unplugged. I'm not sure. Yeah. I just unplugged. Okay. Oh, I don't want to hear oops. What'd you do?
No, it's what you did.
What did I do?
Stuck.
What happened?
I don't know.
Alan, you cut it right on the magnet sheet.
Oh.
That's what happened.
Well, there should be a warning label.
Okay, so Alan just may have done some damage to my cutting machine.
You're gonna need a big shot.
Yep. So when these pop out of here, this is what you get. So one time through the machine, and you get all of these. Alan, I'm going to need you to give me a piece of the Nina paper, the cardstock.
Is this some sort of trial program again?
No, let me tell you where. Pay attention. Up, right there. Your hand is on it. Perfect. Give me one full sheet of that. That is one. You got it right there.
Yeah, I didn't have one.
I'm telling you, if you guys could see this, it's almost comical. Oh, Andrea is saying, why is it called A2? I seriously do not know.
Well, there's all different sizes.
Yeah, there's all different
A4.
sizes of.
I think you have to go
Okay,
back
let me explain. I'm a very literal individual. I don't, and so when somebody asks me a question, I'm very, very literal with what I'm being asked. Why is it called A2? I honestly don't know why they call it that, but there are different sizes in the United States, as well as I think Europe has different sizes.
I think that is the European size.
No, I don't think A2 is European, but I mean I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. So anyway, but A2 size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I've got my. This is my Nina Classic Crest. I got a sheet of this. I'm going to cut this in half, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Okay, so this is what I do, and I get my this is the paper that I use. My Nina Classic Crest, 110 pound. You want to make sure you have the 110 pound. I get it from Cut Cardstock. This is the paper that I use whenever I'm going to be coloring with alcohol markers. So let's see. So here's all the little sentiments. You saw me cut those. So I stamped that one stamp, cut out the die with the die, and it yielded all of these. So I'm going to put those up to the side there. Let me put this die away. Oh, for goodness sake. There we go. Do you ever feel, like, this is one of those days where I feel like everything is going wrong. Do you ever feel like that? I feel like I'm losing things. I'm like, I don't know what I did with the packaging. Oh, it's right here. I'm seeing through things. I don't know. Okay. So, what time is it? It's 7:27. I'm going to show you. I'm going to stamp this tree. And I'm going to show you how I would color it, or how I do color it, or one way that I color it. How I colored it for this card. How's that? So let's get this tree out. I love this tree. This whole set, it gives you the different pieces to the tree so you can build your own tree. I love it. So let's get this stamp out of here. Now when I lay this stamp down, I just kind of drop it. And the reason I do that, I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to be moving it like this and moving it like that and so on. I drop it down and I let it be really natural. And the reason I do that is because it has a coordinating die. And if you start pulling that from side to side, your die is not going to line up on it when you go to cut it. Okay, that's going to happen anytime you have a long, skinny die. Or I'm sorry, a long, skinny stamp. All right, let that fall naturally. Let's go ahead and get this stamped. Where's my ink? I'm stamping this with my Raven Hybrid ink on Nina paper. I don't think I pressed very well up there. Actually, I don't think I inked it up very well on that side. There you go. Beautiful. Okay. This is a hybrid ink, so I'm going to give it a few minutes to dry. What's wrong, Alan? Oh, did we just go out?
Nope, just a second.
Oh, my producer, I'll tell you.
Black.
Sorry about that, everybody.
I'm gonna get that raise, or it's gonna be like this all the time.
Oh my goodness. I'd give you a demotion, except you're already at the lowest position there is.
That's for sure.
Sorry.
Would that be your husband or your producer?
Would that be your husband or your producer, he says. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's a hybrid ink, so it needs a moment to dry. I'm going to set that aside. I want it to be good and dry before I start with the Copics. So let's get some of this assembled here and figure out. This piece of grass I'm going to have flat on the bottom. And I'm not going to put the tape real tight up against the top there because I don't know if I want to end up putting anything behind it. And then this hill I think I'm going to put up on some foam and have that up a little bit to give it some dimension. Where's my scissors? Oh, I don't think I told you guys. We have some of these scissors that are going to be going into the store too.
Yeah, we got a lot of scissors.
Yeah, I love these scissors. I actually have a lot of these scissors that I use. I keep them like all around my craft room in different places because I love working with them and I always want them to be within reach no matter where I am. So let's put, you know what, I'm going to cut 2 tiny little pieces here just to make sure I give the ends some stability. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Next up,
Allie's asking if the mounting tape gums up your scissors.
does this gum up my scissors? No. No, it does not. You know, I got to tell you, as far as these scissors go, I got 2 different ones that I ordered for the store. One of them is titanium, which is really it's really fantastic for, you know, if you're going to be cutting anything for mixed media. So I thought I would grab some of those and put those in the store also. So you had some choices. So here I'm putting the tree down here, and I'm just going to trim off the end of the top of the tree. Try not to trim my card. There we go. So that works out beautifully. Let's see. Let me slide this up underneath a tiny little bit. There we go. I don't know if that's going to look weird or not. We'll see. I'm going to end up covering a lot of this tree with, actually maybe I should go that direction instead. I think that might make more sense. Lift that up. Let's do that. That way it's not a one-sided tree, right? That would be kind of weird. Trim off what we don't need. Oh, actually I have a whole other piece here now, don't I? Can I do anything with that? Alan, I can hear that.
Yeah, what is that?
I'm going to put that there. What am I hearing?
It was my... Just
Just ignore it. He's got volume up so I can hear like me talking to you guys. It's kind of weird. There we go. Put that up there. I just think I like that texture. And then I'm going to get some of these little animals in here. I don't know if that's going to fit. That might just crowd things up a bit. I don't know. Let's leave that there and see how we do. I think I want this fence in here. That's going to be too long. So I'm going to trim off the end of that fence. This was the big fence. Or do I like the small? This is where I go back and forth. This is why I'm not sure. I think the small is too small, so we're going to set that aside. All right, so far everything's going pretty flat on the card. Let's see. Lift that up so that the ends of the fence, the bottom of the fence goes down behind the grass a little bit. And I'm going to put the end of the fence that I cut off behind the tree a little bit. There we go. So that's just kind of in the background. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab one of my Copic markers. This is an E40. And I'm going to give a little bit of texture shadow on this fence because I want people to see it. And this is an E40, which is just, it's a really, really light color. So I just go really, really light like that. You won't even really see it or know that it's there. But your eye is going to catch it, and it's going to make that white fence against that really, really light background. It's going to make that kind of pop a little bit. Put a little bit of texture in there. Okay? Don't be afraid to play with your markers a little bit like that. And I did happen to cut that out of Nina paper too. So I'm going to go ahead and get these little characters up here. One of the things I want to pay attention to before I go too far is, I'm going to do this, love you forever and always. I'm going to put my sentiment on there. And I think I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut my foam. I'm going to put my sentiment on here before I place anything else. I thought about putting it up in there, but I don't think we'll see it very well. So let's get this centered and up a little bit. I don't want it to be too far down at the bottom. That looks really cute. Get my little characters in here. Let's put him up a little bit. What? What's so funny, Alan? Cindy is saying, does the tape work as good as glue? I like the tape. I like this tape because it's really, really fast to work with. It's easy to work with. Glue is going to require a little more time to dry, and it can be a little bit messier. And depending on your glue, I have had things where, you know, at times it just kind of comes undone, and I don't want that to happen either. So why is my husband over there laughing? What's going on, Alan?
Carol Held was asking me if I'm worried about the die cutting machine issue.
Oh. What, you mean worried if I'm going to demote you?
I guess.
Carol's worried about Alan and his die cutting skills and if I'm going to punish him, it sounds like. Let's go ahead and tuck these back in here if I can. These little flowers up in here. Get some red. So we need some color. And so here what I'm doing is I'm just cutting a little piece of this foam. And I'm putting it behind the flowers. And I'm going to tuck, oops, let me peel off the thing here. I'm putting it behind, let me make that one go up a little bit higher maybe. I put it actually behind the fence. Let me get my little fairy in here. Push that all back down again. Come on, there we go. Like she's flying up there. And then I thought it would be really cute to have this little guy running away with, oops, with a strawberry. I think he's cute. Because he snuck in there to grab a strawberry when those bears weren't looking. Look how cute is that. Okay, so let's get some of these in here. I think these are going to be pretty. Let me get some foam. And then I'm going to color up that that tree for you guys really quickly. It really is a fast color. I think you're going to be surprised at how quickly that goes. Oops. Let's fix that one. Trying to cut my fingers. I really love making these scenes. I think they go by really fast too. Once you get everything all colored up, it's actually quite easy to do. Put this on my hand here, get these out of the way. Help if I actually didn't have the tape hanging off of the tree. I think that would be better. I know I'm covering up a lot of the branch that I put there, but that's really kind of, I want it to look like the tree is, you know, there's more leaves up top there, right? And then we can have, let's put these here. A couple of little ones here. Kind of tuck this down under there. The hardest part's getting the backing off of there. There we go. I think I probably could have cut a few more of these little leaves to go in here. I think it would have been fine. I want to have one of these leaves. Where's my tape? Kind of floating down, like in the wind. Maybe another one over here. Here. I think that's it. All right, let me put some stuff away because I want to see, and this I didn't end up using. I don't think that's going to fit. And then what I do also is, if I didn't rip up this bag, but what I would do, and I'll fix it off camera, is I would actually take the rest of these and I would put them in the back of my packaging, because I always store my stuff right back in the packaging. I would store these right back in the packaging so that I know exactly which sentiment set that goes with. So this card is done, and I'm actually really happy with it. I think it's super cute. I really like it. If you wanted to cut these leaves off over here because they are hanging off to the side, you can do that if you're going to put it into an envelope. If it's not going to go into an envelope, then you really don't need to worry about it. But I think it's really cute, and I really like having the lines on the fence there because I think it really kind of makes that fence pop a little bit. You notice it. I wanted it to fade into the background a little bit, but at least I want your eye to catch it. So do I use a coloring or do I use a compressor when coloring sometimes? Carol is asking. No, I don't. I have one. I've only used it one time. So I haven't used it. I should use it. I'm going to grab my colors here, my Copics, and I'm going to show you how I colored up this tree, because I do it in a very whimsical way. I don't necessarily care if it ends up looking real. The colors I pulled for this are literally E40, 41, 42, and 43, all in a row. My favorite E is E40 because it's kind of a gray brown. And so I start with this a little bit, and I just kind of want to lay the groundwork with this. And I literally squiggle a lot. I don't worry. What?
What does that mean, a squiggle?
I squiggle. See how I'm creating little squiggles? And when I do this, my thinking is I want to go in the direction, you know, the artist gives us these lines. And so I want to kind of go in the direction of that. So they're going to have a little bit of a curve to them. And notice these drop down a little bit. So that is the direction that I'm going to start pulling my color, is down in that direction. And that way I'm guaranteed to have it go with this, the contour of the tree. And so when I say squiggle, I'm literally just squiggling like that. I like to have that kind of cartoon-like texture to it. I think that this image is very cartoon-like. It actually reminds me a lot of like something you'd see on Bugs Bunny. So I'm just kind of flicking my marker, and then I come down and I'm squiggling a little bit like that. And it just adds some texture. Do I start with a darker color first? IB Alpha is asking. No, when I first learned how to color with alcohol markers, I learned to go light to dark. So that's just my preference. That's how I've done it for years. It's not right, it's not wrong. You do whatever works best for you. I like to go light first because to me that lays the groundwork, and I can change that, I can cover that up. If I screw up, I'm not stuck with a really dark color someplace. So I work my way up in color, so I start light and I go up, and then I work my way back down to finish it. So now I'm going up to E41. Now E41, let me show you the colors over here. This is an E40 right here. It's kind of a dove gray. This is an E41. So now we start to add a little bit of kind of a caramel color to it. And so I'm going to kind of go back over where my color was. And I'm not going to go very specifically exactly in the same places, but I'm going to do kind of that same kind of thing where I pull the color down. I'm going to focus on some of the areas. This is a key area here because we want to show that that has some bend to it. But I'm not worrying about covering up the same areas exactly, but I want to pay attention to the contour of the tree. And I also want to make sure that I'm not covering up all of the color that I just laid down. And notice I'm pulling the paper around. I'm not twisting my hand around it, meaning I'm not trying to color like this. And this to me goes by really quickly. So now I go up to E42 because I'm not one to color things and try and make them look real. Now I've gone up to 42 and you can see the color is getting darker. All right. But it's the same color family. It has that same kind of caramel color to it. But now I'm going to put even less of it down. Because I don't want to cover up so much of what I've already done. There's like a dog fight outside. My goodness. So I'm just kind of flicking with this and I'm squiggling the marker along the side. I like to make this look kind of like it's a birch tree. So I like to leave the white kind of in the center there. Now I'm going to go up to an E43 and you can see how much darker that is still. So this one I'm a little more careful with. This one I'm going to put just a little bit down and I'm going to be a little more precise with where it goes. Because this is going to give me my shadow and it's really going to strengthen kind of the areas that I want the eye to grab. But I'm still not doing complete coverage on it. Notice when I lay this color down, for the most part, I go heavy, like right where the artist has given me some detail, like these little lines here, the texture of the tree, and then I drag down around it. I'm going to leave the center of that open a little bit. Come down around that, a little bit of squiggle. Focus in here on where the artist has already given me some lines. But I don't want to only put lines where the artist has given me lines. So that's why I will still pull some longer, have some longer flicks of my marker, even where the artist hasn't given me any lines to work with. Now I have an area in here. I'm going to go back down to 42. I want to pull a little bit of color around here. 41. Any areas where I feel like I've lost some of that 41, I'm going to pull some of that color in again. Just to kind of warm it up. And then I'm going to drop back down to 40 and get some of that gray back in there. Just kind of here and there. And it's also going to help smooth out some of those areas that I want to maybe blend that color a little bit better together. Andrea is saying, do you get your markers all at once or stagger them? And if you staggered them, how do you choose which ones to get? I do not get them all at once. I literally grab a couple of markers. If I'm working with browns, I decide what brown I want. If I want kind of a gray brown, a caramel, if I want to go real dark, and I'll grab a couple and I start pulling colors as I go. You know, and then if I decide I want a green that's going to come in, I take a look at my greens and I figure out which green is going to look good with that shade of brown. And then if I want to pull a blue in, am I working with cool colors? Am I working with warm colors? And I kind of pull them from there. So this is really kind of where the tree is. This looks a little bit white in here now that I'm looking at it. I'm going to grab my E42. Just pull a little bit in there so it's not quite so white in that area. So that's about where I would leave that. I'm not one of those, I don't spend a ton of time trying to figure out exactly, you know, is this perfect? Does this look great? I don't worry about that. I don't even care if I totally, right here I went out of the line a little bit. I don't even worry about that. I like having more of a cartoon kind of a look to it than a real look. I think it's more freeing for me. I used to, when I used to color and I used to paint, when I first started working in the industry, I was so concerned about having everything be so perfect. Is it real looking? Do I have the shadows right? Do I? And I'm like, you know what? That was just, that added a level of anxiety to my crafting that I just wasn't interested in. So, so now I'm more interested in having something just look really cute and whimsical. So this is where I would be with this tree, and I think it looks really pretty. Vivian is saying, will you be on HSN next month? What month is it right now? This is August. No, our next one is going to be in September. I'm going to switch camera now.
Next month.
I'm sorry, our next one's going to be October. Oy vey.
Should I put the month up there too? And
Yeah, you should put the month up in
maybe
front of me
the
too. No, I was thinking it's not going to be next month because it's September. Let me fix some of this coloring here. There we go. No, we're actually going to be on in October is our next month. So I hope you guys like that. I hope you guys will just have fun with your coloring and not worry so much about whether it looks absolutely perfect or if it looks so real or anything like that. Here's my cardigan. I think it looks really cute. I'm happy with it. I think it's pretty. Yay.
That did come out really nice.
What?
I haven't even looked at the card until
You haven't looked at the card until just now? He's been a little busy. No, I'm really pleased with it. I tell you, when I first started crafting today to figure out what I was going to do today, I had such a massive failure with what I was working on and what I was originally planning. So I'm really happy that this turned out. You never know. I thought, boy, I could show up and not have anything to craft with. So anyway, we've got a giveaway. And so I thought, I was looking through our products and I thought, what have I not given away? And I think this is one of the things we have not given away yet. Am I wrong? Am I right? I don't know. I thought, let's give away the scalloped rectangle die set. So this is one of my staple die sets. This is one of my staple items that I craft with this all the time. It's like one of my favorites. So I thought, let's give this away. It's a pretty expensive die set. It has 8 dies in it, and they're not all identical. That is a big issue for me. I'd like to have a die set, especially if I'm going to spend a lot of money on a die set. I like there to be a lot of things in there that I'm going to use. I don't want necessarily the same repeated die over and over and over and over again, because I'm only going to use probably 2 or 3 of those dies. So when we create our die sets for building, your layering and stuff like that, we're very careful about putting a lot of elements in there that coordinate, look great together, but give you a lot of uses so that you can actually get use out of them all. So Alan has drawn a winner. So the winner is, oh my goodness, how do I say your last name? Lisa Mazalowski? Lisa Mazalowski. Gosh, I hope I didn't slaughter your name. But you are the winner, Lisa. Congratulations. We're going to get this sent out to you as soon as we have your address. So do me a favor. I'm hoping Alan is giving you our email address right now. You're going to send an email to customerservice@ldrscreative.com. We need your complete shipping address, and we're going to get this awesome die set out to you right away. It literally is one of my staple items. I pull this constantly when I'm crafting, so I think you're really, really going to love it. So, yay, Lisa! Congratulations. Oh boy, I think we are almost out of time. Here's my cardigan. Yay! I think it turned out really cute. I'm happy with it. I think I might have the brightness up maybe a little too much, but anyway. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Come back here on Thursday with us. I have no idea what I'm going to be crafting with, but maybe I can. I think I'm going to. If I can get to it again, I'm going to see if I can maybe work out what my failure was earlier today. We'll see. Anyway, we will be back again Thursday night, same time, 7 p.m. right here. I don't know where we're going to be in the world on Thursday, but I'm sure it will be something that is beautiful. Check out Ireland once again. Isn't that gorgeous? I would love to go there. Anyway, everybody, thanks again. I hope you guys have a great night. I really, really appreciate your coming here. If you haven't done so already, join our Facebook group. Check us out on Instagram. And we would love for you to subscribe to us on YouTube. These are all places where we're going to give you guys, a lot of information. We share videos. We share design team projects, all kinds of content. And if you join our newsletter, if you haven't already, we put that out periodically as well. And we put a lot of discount coupons and things in all these different areas. And so I know it's kind of a pain to join all of these things, but that's where we put all the information for you. So I hope you will join us. But anyway, come back again Thursday, 7 p.m. right here. And I don't know, I'll have to come up with a place in the world that we're going to be. Who knows? Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much.